class. My name is Robert Garza, and today I'm going to give a persuasive speech. I'm going to try to persuade you on why school uniforms should be implemented in grade schools. Now, although we are college students, and we obviously don't have to wear uniforms, and we're not in high school anymore, any one of us might have a sibling or relative, a son or daughter, that is either going to go into grade school or they're already in grade school, and we care about their safety and we want to keep them in a safe environment. And that's why I believe that school uniforms should be implemented in grade school to keep our children safe. Now, there's plenty of reasons why school uniforms benefit of the safety of our kids, but I'm going to start off with one main one right now. When students wear uniforms, they will not fear being targeted because of the clothes they wear. There's plenty of bullies out there today that are targeting little kids because they're the less fortunate. They don't wear as cool clothing as I do. And you'd be surprised, there's some kids that just attack kids because they don't look as cool as them, so to speak. They're not them, they don't hang out with their cool group. So those kids are attacked, and there's plenty of kids that have that fear going to school because of these kids. And they wake up every morning thinking about, I don't have the right clothing, they're gonna think bad of me. And when you have the school uniforms, that takes away everything. According to TargetStudy.com, an article called School Uniforms, Pros and Cons, kids are subjected to bullying and verbal abuse based on their dressing sense. So what I was trying to say is that kids that don't wear that nice clothing, those are the ones that are more targeted in school, and those are the ones that mostly get bullied. Now, these uniforms, they can also protect students from gang violence. Nowadays, there's always these gangs in school, especially in Laredo, and they form this kind of identity by wearing this type of clothing. And kids get a sense of fear when they're looking at these kids. They want to stay away from these kids. They're afraid of going to school because of these gang violence. And gangs these days are very dangerous. Now, when you implement that school uniform code, they have to tuck in their shirt, and it can reduce a lot of violence. I actually have a video to show you that has to do with bringing guns to school because of school uniforms. Let me show it to you.
Conceived and strictly enforced dress code can dramatically improve the safety of the school and can ensure a positive learning environment for everyone. As this student's appearance demonstrates, having a lax policy about dress makes it easy for a student to conceal a weapon and makes it difficult to concentrate on campus. It gets worse. Reduce weapons violations, relieve tensions between gangs, reduce disciplinary infractions, and generally improve the atmosphere of the school. Our policy requires making the belt line visible at all times. Our students may not wear baggy pants or colors and insignias that are commonly associated with gang activity.
Okay, so as you can see, it can get very dangerous in school because you don't know what these kids are taking into school when they don't implement that school code about tucking your shirt and having the uniform. And it can get us, even if it's just one gun, it creates a lot of danger in these schools. And these students wouldn't be physically attacked by the clothing that they wear. It keeps them a lot safer. Now, according to Patty English, in her article called "What is the Result in the Youth of Kids from K-12 Wearing New Clothing," she states that uniforms can reduce gang rivalries and even bullying that result from picking on other kids. Now, another reason why I believe school uniforms should be implemented in grade schools is because there's this separation of lines in school. When I say separation of lines, I mean that you have separation of the cool kids over here, the losers, so to speak, over here, the emos over here. There's a huge separation. I'm surprised, And when you have the school uniform, it blurs out all these separations. It eliminates all these type of groups that they have in school, and the less fortunate kids that can't wear as cool as or as expensive as brand clothing as these other kids, they would be more accepted when they come into school because I have to as you can see right now, I'm wearing the USC school uniform, and although maybe his polo might be more expensive, but polo's a polo. It's blue, mine's blue, has a collar, his has a collar. So what's the difference? I have the same clothing as you do, so there shouldn't be that separation of line anymore. And when the less fortunate feel more accepted, it helps them gain a sense of self-esteem, and it helps them feel a lot better when they're in school, and they don't have to be as worried as wearing school clothing as other kids. Now, it also creates a sense of unity, identity, and a community that is created by all these uniforms. According to Viola King in an article called "A Smart Decision for Any School," with school uniforms, everyone has the same clothing, making it virtually impossible for someone to pick on someone for apparel. Like I said, everyone has to wear polo, everyone has to wear the same color, everyone has to wear the same pants. So it shouldn't matter anymore. They shouldn't matter about wearing as nice clothing as other people, and it helps them gain a self-esteem, and they feel more confident when they go to class and not scared. A third reason why I believe that school uniforms should be implemented in grade school is because students can concentrate on learning instead of their classmates, instead of what their classmates are doing. I'll admit myself, you know, when school uniforms weren't in school, you're there in class and you're looking at these other guys' pants, you're like, dang, it's just nice pants. What am I going to do tomorrow? Go to the mall, buy some nicer pants. Tell my mom to buy me nicer clothes. So you can get distracted. It's not as bad as other distractions, but it does distract kids in school about what other kids are wearing. And you know, an article called "The Benefits of Mandatory School Uniforms," Rhonda M. states that with less distractions such as fashion, violence, and harassment, children would have more time to focus on what they came to school for, obviously to study. And it helps them because they don't have to wake up every morning and think of what I'm going to wear, you know, I have this whole closet. No, with school uniforms, you only have this certain set of clothing you can wear. You wake up quick, get your breakfast, it gives you more time. It gives more time for students to eat breakfast, so they won't have to think about what clothing they're going to have to wear. Now, it also can create better behavior. From what I've heard when I was in school is that when they started implementing school uniforms in UISD, that it decreased it by 100 referrals a semester. And so you obviously see some very good results in this, and it can create a lot of much better behavior. An article called Benefit of .net states that uniforms offer virtual restraint to negative actions or behaviors done in public. As you can tell by those hundreds of uniforms, that it really reduces that behavior, and it causes students to act a lot better because they have to dress more professional. As you can tell with the referrals, that it does cause a lot better behavior. Now overall, as you can tell, that school uniforms can be we all have children, we all have students, we have relatives and friends, and we want to keep them in a safe environment. And I believe that having school uniforms is what can do this for our children. Thank you.